breaking news is kind of the precarious place Social Security is right now. This has never happened since 1935, since the start of Social Security, where the commissioner basically says, okay, should I keep Social Security open? Should I give you all your checks or not? I guess he just came out with the things and said he finished his temper tantrum and he decided to go ahead and give you all your checks. It's very, very nice of him, huh? So basically what it was is these DOGE people going in, they have access to everybody's record. And you don't do that in Social Security. Social Security has always been really, really, I have fired several people that worked in my office for accessing records they should not have accessed. And those people know who you are out there. You chime in here and say, yeah, that was me. I was fired. But anyway, people throughout the country, managers of offices throughout the country have fired a lot of people for accessing records, famous people. Oh, I wonder how much Arnold Schwarzenegger makes. So they go in there and that's a red flag and says, bye. As we used to say in the Marine Corps, you now get the big chicken dinner. You are officially, moved out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. People, Social Security employees, looking at records of their ex-husband or, see how they can see if they can get more child support if he's making more money. Bye, you're gone. So Social Security has always been very, very vigilant in protecting your identity, protecting your personal information. But now these DOGE people have access to everything, and Social Security has always have always had outside sources, accounting firms going in there, and we've had accounting firms come into our office and make sure we're doing everything right, crossing our T's, dotting our I's, and everything. But they were not given access to personal information with the person's name and all that kind of stuff. They were just kind of, it was just all that stuff was kind of blanked out. Any type of reviews, but these DOGE people have full access to everything: how much you're making, where you live, who you were married to, how much your benefit amount is, what your direct deposit information is. They have access to everything. And the judge says, no, you really can't do that. So they put down essentially a restraining order on that. And the commissioner of Social Security, who is the commissioner of Social Security, he seems to be in hiding a bit. This is the guy, Leland Dudek. He is the guy that decided. He woke up this morning and he says, oh, okay, I guess I won't stop your Social Security benefits. So he just came out with a statement. And let me pop up his statement there. That today the court issued a clarifying guidance that the temporary restraining order related to DOGE employees and DOGE activities at the Social Security Administration. Therefore, I am not shutting down the agency. Wow, thank you very much. We sure appreciate it. Yeah. President Trump supports keeping Social Security offices open. Well, some of them. And getting the right check to the right person at the right time. Social Security employees and their work will continue under the TRO. So this is kind of the nature, the precarious nature of Social Security. We were about that close to getting the whole thing shut down and all the checks stopped. So this is unbelievable. So DOGE, he says, basically, if you tell me DOGE people can't do whatever they want in Social Security, that I cannot give them access to it, DOGE runs Social Security. So if they can't run it, then no employees can run it. Is basically what his argument was, is that if they don't have access, then I can't do anything because they do essentially everything. They're my anti-fraud people. They're my IT people. And if they can't do it, then nobody can do it. So we're just going to shut the whole thing down. And I guess he slept on it and he decided not to shut the whole thing down. So this is a very strange time in American history, particularly in terms of Social Security. But as of right now, checks are going to continue. If you're filing for new benefits coming up here, remember to get access to the computer if you can't make a trip down to your local Social Security Administration. If you can't get access to the computer, then unfortunately, if you file a new claim, and they don't say what a new claim is, new claim for retirement benefits, obviously, or new claims for disability benefits. So we're talking about a new claim for, like, if you're getting Medicare and you want to sign up for Part B, are they considering that a new claim, or new claim for Part B to prove your identity? And we don't know. This whole thing is crazy, but I am going to be keeping up on this and giving you some of the inside scoops on how to dodge DOGE and make sure you get everything you are eligible for and entitled to. Okay. let's move into some questions here. Um, let's see here. Why is Equifax being used to verify my Social Security account? Yeah, that's part of the. It's been around for a while, but in order to prove who you are, they already had a system that asks those challenge questions where it says, did you ever live at this address, did you ever do there. So the Social Security Administration essentially contracted out to agencies, to companies like that, to confirm who you are. So that is where that comes from. Let's see here. Get some actual questions. They want all elderly, low income to vanish. So only rich people exist in this country. It's part of their plan to get rid of 1/3 of people. Okay. But yeah, well, this has been a plan. It's working out perfectly for those who want to privatize Social Security. And if you go into my YouTube channel, on the description, it has the plan that was written in the 1980s, and this is going exactly as planned. They starve Social Security. Social Security has been begging for decades. We need a new computer system. They say, nope, too bad. We're not going to give you any resources to get a new computer system. We need more staffing to help people. Baby boomers are coming up, but we've got less staff than we had in 50 years. Nope. They want customer service to be so bad and people to hate Social Security, because if you love Social Security, if you love anything, you don't want it to, you don't want it to die. But if you're just completely fed up with something, then it's easier to go in there and says, this agency sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, it sucks. All right, well, let's give it over to Wall Street. And this has been the plan for a long time. And then when the crisis happens, then that's when you go in there and swoop in. And this is definitely the crisis type. Yeah. I just want you to know you have relieved me of my much stress and anxiety, and I'm so thankful for you. I wish Elon would hire you. I've reached out to DOGE. People ask me all the time, have you reached out to Congress? Have you reached out to the president? Have you reached out to Elon? Yes, all of them. And yeah, I don't think nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I think it's the old Marine Corps sergeant in me that I don't pull back quite often. My check was due today. Still don't have it. Yeah, usually on the weekends or something, since we're coming up on the weekend here pretty soon, maybe something along there. But I haven't heard of any mass stoppage of Social Security checks right now. So yeah, that you should be good. If you don't get your check, then obviously reach out to Social Security, and if you can get into the Social Security office, call them up. But anyway, but yeah, I haven't heard anything of checks being stopped right now. News today: Trump threatens to stop Social Security check if Musk not allowed to get in all our information. Yes, but they just stopped that. So, had appointment to show docs to apply for ex-spouse benefits. The Social Security agent at local office said I had to first file on X, then show my docs. I told, take a copy today, put it with my record. I swear. Okay, so all right. So you filed for ex-spouse benefits. So remember, you have to file for benefits on your own record first, unless your ex-spouse passed away. Survivor benefits are kind of an exception. But if you're filing on a current spouse or a divorced spouse that's still alive, you have to file for benefits on your own record first, and then you file for benefits on that person's record. And remember, the independently entitled divorced spouse benefit, your ex-spouse does not have to be receiving Social Security benefits. As long as they're 62 years old, then you can collect benefits on their record. Let me see. I'm 52. My husband passed away 2 years ago. Could I still apply for survivor benefits? Absolutely. Yeah, there is no limitation on that. So if you are receiving Social Security benefits on your own record, and you have someone that passes away, in that case, you can kind of switch. It's one adds to the other, but absolutely. You had to be if it's a divorce type situation, you had to be married to the person for 10 years or longer. Or if you were married to the person when they passed away, you just had to be married to the person for at least 9 months. And with everything Social Security, there's always exceptions to exceptions. There's common law in particular states. They didn't technically have to be married and divorced if it was a common law state. What are some of the other exceptions? If you were married to the person for, let's say, 5 years, you divorce them and remarry the same person the next year by the end of the next calendar year, you can add that extra 5 years to come up with 10 years. The 9-month exception is if you were married to someone for less than 9 months, but they passed away, it was an accident, or they were serving in the military, active duty, then that's an exception for the 9 months. So there's always kind of, exceptions, the exceptions with all things Social Security. So why is the Social Security only going after the poor and never going after the rich? Yeah. Well, the golden rule, right? Those who have the gold rule. Yeah, and the fact that one of the we're going to get cuts in the next few years to our Social Security checks if Congress doesn't do something. And the main reason those cuts are happening is because we pay FICA Social Security on every dollar we make. But if you make over $176,100, you're exempt from paying Social Security FICA tax. You don't have to pay tax on anything after $176,100. So that's the reason Social Security Trust Fund is running out so quickly. And then we're going to be getting cuts in the future is because more money is going to the top, which is exempt from Social Security. We have to pay it on every dollar. We pay FICA Social Security on every dollar we make the entire year. If you're making millions of dollars, then you pay it for the first couple of seconds of January 1st and you're done. So that's the reason. My husband and I are both retired. I got a pension. My husband receives Social Security. If he dies, would I receive his Social Security check? Yes, it really depends on the amount. So you get a pension. So you get some other type. Well, based on the Social Security Fairness Act, it doesn't matter anymore what other type of pension you receive. But in terms of Social Security, if his benefit amount is larger than yours, then yes. If you're receiving spouse benefits on his record, your benefit amount has to be less than half of his, and you're eligible for up to 50% of his full benefit amount. When a spouse passes away, you're eligible for up to 100%. So if his is $1 more, $100 more, $1,000 more, then yes, you would be eligible for that benefit amount, as long as you were married 9 months. And obviously, if you remarry, then you're no longer eligible unless you remarry after the age of 60. So make sure you go in, get access to an online system, because or try to go down to the local office if it's still open at that time. But you're good. Your husband will be around for another 80 years, right? So you don't have to worry about it. So if someone has a direct check in their bank from SSI, do you still have to visit a Social Security office? That's a good question, because you said SSI. SSI, you probably mean Social Security. So I'll answer both questions. If you're just talking about Social Security, no, unless you're going to change that direct deposit. If you're going to change your direct deposit, then yes, you do have to go down to your Social Security office. All right. Now let's answer if you're actually asking about SSI. People confuse the two. SSA is not SSI. So SSA is Social Security Administration. SSI is Supplemental Security Income, and it's a welfare-based program Social Security administers for low-income, low-resource people based on disability or over the age of 65. Okay, because it's a welfare-based program, if you receive an SSI, you know that when you receive SSI, you have to do redeterminations, which every 6 months or every year, the Social Security reaches out to you and makes sure you didn't win the lottery or have some other income or you moved or anything like that. So, and in that case, is DOGE going to consider that a new application to where they can't do that on the phone anymore? To where now SSI people have to go down to the local Social Security office? We don't know. So there's that. Will it be considered a new claim when people sign up for Medicare? All right. Nobody knows. The policy is changing on a daily basis, but there's kind of 2 or 3 situations. If you are currently receiving Social Security monthly benefits and then you approach 65, then they'll sign you up for Medicare automatically and you don't have to do anything. once you're receiving monthly benefits, whether it's retirement benefits or spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits, about 100 days before you reach 65, Medicare will mail you your packet, your Part A and Part B and all that stuff. And then you just have to find, all the other stuff, a Medicare supplement, a Part D plan, a prescription drug, Medicare Advantage, and you can reach out to my partners. They can help you out there. They sponsor this live Q&A. All right. If you are not receiving Social Security benefits, then yes, that is definitely considered a new claim. You have to go online. If you can go completely online, you shouldn't have an issue. If you can't go online for some reason and sign up for Medicare, then you'll have to do the phone or go down to the local Social Security office. And then there's number 3 is if you refused Part B when you turn 65 because you had health insurance from work, yours or your spouse's current work, 20 or more employees, so you refuse Part B, and now you're, let's say, 70 years old and you stop receiving health insurance from that work. So you want to go ahead and sign up for Part B. Then you have to do the 40B and the 564, the 2 forms, fill those out, and then send those in. Whether they will consider that a new application, because it's technically a new application for Part B, because you didn't have Part B. You might have already, Part A and Part B. So yeah, that's a question. We don't know yet. So it's kind of the Wild West out there. We need the Social Security to keep from having to live on the street. Yes, Social Security is the most successful anti-poverty program in American history, bar none. All you got to do is go back and study, the Great Depression and see how terrible it was. That's why Social Security was started during the middle of the Great Depression. Yeah. Do they still go by credits earned for determining benefit payments? What's up, Shay? Let's see here. Well, yes and no. By credits earned, in order to get like retirement benefits, even disability, you have to have, yes, you had to pay into the system. For retirement benefits, let's say you're 62 years old, you had to pay at least 40 credits. So yes, you will not get paid if you have less than 40 credits on your own record. However, you're asking about the payment amount. That is not decided by those necessarily 10 years. It's decided by your high 35 years of earnings. So Social Security determines your benefit amount by your high 35 years of earnings. So, and they're not necessarily, consecutive. You could have 10 years of high earnings in your 20s and then another higher in their 40s. And so they look at all of them and they index those for kind of an inflation, a wage index. So if you made $20,000 when you were 20 years old, 50 years ago, that's probably worth like $100,000 today. So they turned it into $100,000 and that's how they come up with your benefit amount. So that's why it's always, always, always important to go into, set up a Social Security account, my Social Security, go in there, go through. It's kind of a nightmare to do it, but they make it difficult for a good reason. So other people don't pretend to be you. So you go in there and you check your earnings record. And if you find anything strange, any gaps or anything like that, then you reach out to Social Security or you come back here and you ask me and I'll show you how to fix it. But yeah, that's how they determine how much your benefit amount is going to be for the rest of your life is based on how much you actually paid into Social Security. So do not dodge DOGE. Yeah. So that was the I try to think of funny things on my thumbnails on a daily basis. And sometimes so I'm like dodge DOGE. So DOGE is trying to put up all of these roadblocks to prevent people, particularly the vulnerable people, from getting their benefits. So yesterday I talked about how to dodge it and, do a little in shuffle, trying to think of a football term, but anyway, it eludes me. Let's see. How can American tax money fund genocide, but not healthcare for the taxpayers? Wow. Sorry. Well, it's old Marine Corps Sergeant kind of dark gallows humor here. You have to laugh in the face of, okay. I already answered that one. Let's see here. I am having trouble getting on Social Security website. Yeah. don't remember my password, and it wants to send a text to an old phone number, and I can't change my number until I get on the website. Yeah, what do I do? So yeah, with the new system, unfortunately, then you're going to have to reach out to Social Security, and you just might have to go to a local Social Security office and show your ID, and they can reset everything for you. So yeah. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. And then people, that just don't have access. So please, let's all reach out, with this nightmare thing, the 70 million Americans that are on Social Security. If you know someone on Social Security, reach out to them. Number one, make sure they're getting the benefits they're entitled to, that they're eligible for, that they paid into. People are waiting for, filing for divorced spouse benefits when they don't have to. People are not switching to their own record after receiving survivor benefits for a while, or vice versa. People are not taking, advantage of Medicaid and the Medicare savings program, where they'll pay for your Part B premium. There are just so many people not doing the right thing and suffering because of it. And now, with all this craziness, people are going to have, a more difficult time getting the benefits they need. So let's please, please, please reach out to everybody. And one way you can do that is just simply share, like, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. And it teaches these stupid algorithms that this is important stuff. So, all right. Is there any truth to a Social Security stimulus check? No, not right now. One of the things out there is the Social Security Fairness Act, and people think it's all clickbait. And because I did a video about it, and everybody says, Ed, you're just clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. I didn't get that check. And I said, well, you didn't watch the video. The Social Security Fairness Act is for 3% of the people that worked for the government, local government, city, state government, teachers, firefighters, janitors at the hospital, wherever, police officers. And they are getting a higher percentage than the other 97%, and also some back pay. And the back pay is about $6,000 on average. So there's a lot of people receiving that $6,000. And you see in social media that, yes, $6,000, $3,000, $7,000, $8,000 check is coming to people. And it is not clickbait. It is an actual fact. Unfortunately, it's not coming to you or me, the 97% of people out there. They are for people that in their main jobs did not pay into Social Security. They paid into Social Security at some other job, but they didn't pay it in their main job. They work for that government, and they're getting a higher percentage than the rest of us. I was completely against that, and those people don't like me anymore because I was against it. But if they get the extra percentage, I believe everybody should get the extra percentage. So how would us 97% like another 100, 200, 300, 500, $600 a month in your check? Yes, I think we should fight for a true Social Security Fairness Act. So Dudek is a troublemaker. Yeah. Yeah, he admitted he was looking for another job. He had done some things that he was not supposed to. He was a kind of a mid-level employee. Nobody really knew about him, and he was doing some stuff that he wasn't supposed to be doing, allegedly. He admits it. And he was looking for another job. He thought he was going to be fired. And then DOGE came in and say, "Wow, you're our guy." And they made him the commissioner of Social Security. And he is following orders. And he has specifically says, "I am not in charge. It's DOGE is telling me what to do, and I just do it." Will back payments still be issued according to date on award letter, SSI? Yes. If you get an award letter from SSI or SSDI or anything from Social Security, and it says we just processed your claim and we have found you were eligible for benefits effective 6 months ago, then they will pay you back 6 months. So yeah, nothing like that is changing. So if you got an award letter, then you got an award letter. Because SSI is going to deny any taken at all, they will make us pay for it as overpayments, but yet you get the same size check each month. Okay. SSI is going to deny any taken at all. Not exactly sure. SSI, again, is the welfare-based program. But this sounds like, I don't know if this is what you mean, but I always like to throw this out there, particularly now. You hear this internet myth all the time about Social Security always denies disability claims the first time. Please stop repeating that myth because you're doing terrible harm to people. I have taken hundreds of thousands of disability claims, and yes, some of them were denied that I don't think should have been denied. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor, but not that medical doctor. But and some were approved that, anyway. But I've had cases where, I take the claim for the person and I send it up to get the medical decision, and it comes back like that same day approved, or the next day I walk in the office the next day and it's approved. So Social Security disability claims are approved first time, a lot of times, not a, anyway, sometimes they're denied, but anyway, but don't repeat that, because when you repeat that myth, then people that are actually disabled, that are really hurting, dealing with their disability, and they, kind of, down in the dumps, and, they're worrying about their money, and they hear that, well, yours is going to be denied anyway. That just demoralizes them, and they just don't file, even though they should file. It's their money. If they paid into FICA tax all those years, that's their money. So they should file for it. So when you repeat that, usually it's lawyers that like to repeat that because they want you to hire them. If you want to use a lawyer, that's fine. But and you always hear that lawyers get a higher percentage approval rate. Well, you know why? Because lawyers are picky and choosy. If you call them up and say, yeah, I snubbed my toe, I want to file for disability, they go, yeah, sorry. Oh, I was in a terrible accident last year, and, well, okay, we'll take your case. Well, yeah, more percentage of those are approved because, you're picking and choosing. So, but let's stop kind of the internet myths out there, because it really hurts people that really need the help. So my understanding is this: if my father needs to update his bank information, or number one, Ali Torres, thank you for looking out for your father there. Thank you for looking out your family and coming here and asking questions for someone. Yeah, perfect. We like that. All right. So update his bank information or anything that he could do online. He must log in through a government verification in order for the information. Yes. Well, yes, for the direct deposit, you have to go fully online and change your direct deposit online. If you can't do it online, you can't do it over the phone, which you were able to before. And that one right there, I could see that. That's one thing there was quite a bit of fraud on, that OIG was continuing, to clamp down on, was people changing other people's direct deposit without, their knowledge. So that was a good, I think that's a good decision. It's obviously they should, mediate it a little bit, because, people that live way out in the country, can't go to a Social Security office, don't have access to the computer. If they need to change a direct deposit, it's going to be, difficult, if not possible. But I can see that one. I kind of agree with that DOGE idea. So that's a good one. That's why today in my grade, I gave, DOGE an F instead of an F minus, because if they because they added that one. They've got an F because they haven't found any fraud or waste and abuse at Social Security at all yet. But Social Security employees, the reason I gave them a B is because they're doing good. They could do better. Everybody could do better. And the fact that they've got the resources they have as an agency are not good. So if DOGE wants to go in there and help with that, the computer system, I'm always on the positive side. So definitely help with that. You gotta pull a nugget out of everything, right? I got a letter today. I was involved in windfalls. They are telling me I have 2 accounts. Is this true? Yeah. So windfall, are we talking about the windfall elimination provision? So if that's the case, and this is another thing DOGE doesn't understand. One of their directives of going into Social Security is finding, who these 20 million people or dead people are receiving benefits, where they are. And then they found out there's no there, and because they just don't understand Social Security. Even the acting commissioner of Social Security, the DUDEC guy, says, yeah, you just don't understand the system. That's not true. And another thing is they're going in there and finding people that are receiving benefits on 2 records. And there's millions of people that receive benefits on 2 records. Probably you Evie, receive benefits, it sounds like, on 2 records. These people just don't understand Social Security, and anyway. If you are receiving benefits on your own record, it's called an A record. So it's, in the old days, you used to get a letter and it'd have your social security number and then have an A at the end of it. If you're also receiving spouse benefits or receiving divorce spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits, you're receiving more money on another person's record. So in the old days, you used to get the social security number and then would have like a D or a W1 or something. It would be coded that this is what you're receiving from this other person's record. So yes, in your particular case, you just might be receiving benefits on your own record and you're receiving benefits on another person's record. Can I still apply for retirement benefits online before March 31st? My birthday is in the third week of August and I turned 62 this year. You're early. You can only file about 3 months or so before, and you have to be 62 the entire month. So, if your birthday is third week in August, then you can't start your benefits until September, and you'll get your first check in October because you have to be 62 the entire month. So yeah, it's too early to do it now. But hopefully, if everything stays the same, which, I doubt it will, about 3 months before September, then you go online, and hopefully at that time, if you're able to do everything online, then you should be good. So, but that is as of right this second. I spoke to a very nice lady at the main Social Security office in Maryland. She called me back after I opted for a callback. She verified all my info in 5 minutes and said I was all set. Awesome. But remember, that's different. That's not going to happen in March, after March 31st. To verify info, it sounds like if you're verifying info like that, then you're going to have to go down to the local Social Security office and show ID now. So I guess enjoy it while it happens. I collect Social Security and some SSI, total under 1,000. My ex turned 62 6 months after I started collecting. If I would have waited, I could have got more dollars. Is there anything I can do now to get more money? No, because you're on SSI. When you're on SSI, the welfare-based program, and you're eligible for any other benefits from Social Security or welfare or anything, inheritance or insurance, you have to take those. You have to take it, or your SSI will be denied. I know exactly where you're going here, and I kind of understand where you're saying, okay, I'm on SSI. I'm receiving, it's a welfare-based benefit. It comes around, from the general taxation. It doesn't come from the trust fund. So it's taxpayer money. I know Social Security, is supposed to take care of taxpayer money. But if I file for spouse benefits at 62, I get such a reduced amount. And then I still have to stay on SSI. If they would have let me wait until my full retirement age, I could have got a higher benefit and gotten off SSI. Yeah, I know. But that's unfortunately the law. So, all right, I am over an hour, and we talk about 3 different stories today. And but most importantly, it's a long story short on all this, reach out to people that you know and help them navigate the bureaucracy. And there's a lot of people, particularly the vulnerable people out there, that are really, really going to be hurt because of all this. But everybody out there, please make sure you reach out to at least one person and help them, if you got any questions, come back here and I'll get to as many as I possibly can. All right, y'all take care and take care of each other. Bye-bye.